Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to Camp Blood Live number 10. Tonight we'll be doing just a chill stream, talking some horror, and watching The Evil Dead 1981 in preparation for the new Evil Dead Rise next week. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for it, but it looks fucking crazy, and it has 96% on Rotten Tomatoes, so it's definitely going to be a great time. I'm really excited. Hold on. I'm just going to make a few posts here, let everyone know that we're live. Make sure my other stream isn't playing in the background. So I'm going to post a question for you guys to comment on as well. What's your favorite? Hey, Mark, how's it going? I got too much going on here at once. Get the movie up. I'm going to post the link to the movie in the comments or in the description right now, so you guys can watch along if you'd like. Just 1 second there. I had it already, but then the page refreshed and I lost it. Go. There, if you go into the description, the movie should be in the link now. Just let me check to make sure that worked. Of course, my thing's not working. There we go. Yep, it is there. Perfect. So if you load up the movie, what you'll want to do is, it might not work right away. There's like multiple links down below you can choose if one doesn't work. Use VidCloud because that one seems to work the best. Just click that and then hit play. But I'll do a countdown before we actually start the movie. Let some people get in here. All right. Pumpkin King. His favorite movie is the original. That's probably my favorite. I'd say it's tied between the original and the fourth movie, The Evil Dead 2013. I will not call it a remake because it is not a remake. It is a sequel. Mark likes the original. Philip likes the original. Hey, how's it going? Glad you guys are in the chat. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Who's going to be watching along with the movie? Let me make another post here to let people know I'm live. Okay. Awesome. I'm going to be watching along. When's the last time you watched it? Has it been a while? Have you watched it recently? I watched them all, I think, in like December-ish. So it's been a few months since I've seen any of them. Second there, just getting the link posted on Instagram. Okay. Got it all ready to go. I've got mine loaded up as well. So when we actually go to start the movie, I'll say 3, 2, 1, play, just so we all play it at the same time. But I'll ask you guys all first just to make sure you've got it loaded up and ready to go because I don't want to start it without any of you. Let me get mine actually up on the screen here. Perfect. Oh, Just one moment, guys. I'll just be 1 second. And I'm back. Okay. Oh. 2 weeks ago. Oh shit, your favorite movie, eh? Mine just started playing in the background on its own, so maybe some supernatural stuff going on here. That's awesome that it's your favorite. I used to think the second movie was my favorite because I just remembered really liking Evil Dead 2 a lot. But when I rewatched them a few months ago, I really liked the first one like a lot, like a lot more than I remembered it. Because I used to just kind of skip the first one and go to the second one because the second movie recaps the first movie in like the first 7 minutes. But the first movie, I don't know, I just find it's like a not like serious, but it's like slightly more serious than the second movie. And I just enjoy that a little bit more. Like the second movie is obviously silly at times, and I still do enjoy it. But once you get into Army of Darkness, and I know this might be controversial, I I don't really enjoy Army of Darkness that much. It's just too silly, like all the way through, like slapstick humor. I just it doesn't quite do it for me. Maybe this time around I'll enjoy it a little bit more. Who knows? Sometimes that happens when I rewatch movies after some time, but I didn't really enjoy it the last time I watched it. Oh, my friend Derek is here. He said he was going to dox me in the comments, so hopefully he doesn't do that. Oh, hey, we got Good Real Hunting in the comments. Hey, Brett, how's it going? He's doing Friday the 13th, Part 3, 3D later on tonight, so make sure to tune in for their streams well. Jose, how's it going? Thanks for joining in the chat. What's your favorite Evil Dead movie? You've only watched the original. Interesting. You should definitely watch, honestly, probably all of them, but like I said, Army of Darkness is kind of my least favorite of the four we have right now. It probably, for me, it's like the first one, and then the fourth one, the 2013 movie, and then the second one, and then the Army of Darkness in terms of how I like them. Pumpkin King also doesn't enjoy Army of Darkness. I remember liking it a lot when I was younger, but I hadn't watched the Evil Dead films in quite some time. And when I rewatched them a few months ago, I almost couldn't even make it through Army of Darkness. I just really was not enjoying it at all. I don't know. It almost feels like a different franchise. I don't like it that much. Army of Darkness is Ernest Scared Stupid of the franchise. It is. It feels like Evil Dead on SNL or something like that. Like it feels like it's just a comedy instead of being a horror comedy. I don't know. It's just there's too many jokes, too much slapstick humor. I have a tough time getting into it these days. Jonathan, good to see you in the comments. What's up, man? What's your favorite Evil Dead? Got a friend Shane who's going to be joining too, who's also going to be watching with us. Just see if he made it in okay. Shit. What the hell is going on with my Instagram right now? You guys ever find that Instagram just doesn't work half the time? I really love it a lot. Let me see here. All right. Kevin, I didn't like Army of Darkness. It's done without the fun, or it's done without feeling campy, which makes it a slog. Kind of just feels like a kid's movie. Yeah, it's just like humor from start to finish. Especially when like anytime Ash is just on screen alone, it's not fun to watch. Like I suppose if you're just watching for like a dumb comedy, sure, but I like the horror elements. I like the gore and the blood and all that stuff. And Evil Dead 2 is kind of a good balance of comedy and horror, whereas Army of Darkness, it throws the horror out the window and just becomes, like you said, a slog to get through, kind of. Jonathan's is Evil Dead 2013. That one's it's definitely between that one and the first one for me. They're very, very close. When I rewatched Evil Dead 2013, I kind of forgot how good it actually was. Like, it's such a good movie. They did such a great job with it. And the fact that the new one, Evil Dead Rise, had 100% for a while, but now that's 96% on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm so pumped to watch that movie. It's from everything I've seen, it's going to be a blast. Like, all the people on Twitter who have already seen the movie or got to see it early absolutely love the shit out of it. So I'm super pumped to see it next Friday or maybe Thursday, one of the two. Josh, it's Warwind on YouTube, FYI, not Derek. I agree that Army is more of a spoof movie. Like, they just gave up on the horror aspect. Okay, I'll call you Warwind. Yeah, it's like they just threw all of the horror elements right out the window and just went straight into slapstick humor. It almost feels like I'm watching like the Three Stooges of Evil Dead or something. It doesn't fit with the other movies very well at all. And I also don't like how Evil Dead 2, like, it leads directly into Army of Darkness, but then Army of Darkness like changes the ending of Evil Dead 2, and it has like the opening of Army of Darkness and the ending of Evil Dead 2 don't line up because they switch things around. I don't really like that either. My new Mac upload talking forever. Oh, Matt Futchie in the comments. What's up, man? How's it going? Oh, Destiny, how's it going? Destiny might join us for the Evil Dead Rise chat after the movie comes out, so I'm looking forward to that. It's always great to have Destiny on the channel. Oh, there's MAGA Cat. What's up, freaks? Evil Bread. Evil Dead 2 for you. Tried and true. Yeah, I really like Evil Dead 2 as well. It's just I don't know, maybe on this rewatch of the franchise I'll switch things up again, but last time I watched them, I was just found myself enjoying the original a little bit more, and as well as the 2013 film. But Evil Dead 2 is still really solid. Makes me so excited to see what Fede Alvarez does with the new Alien film. Yes, it's about time we got a new Alien film. I'm honestly, I was not a big fan of Prometheus. Like, I found it was like all visuals and little substance. I like the ending. We got like the proto face hugger and stuff, the giant one, but I don't know. Prometheus doesn't do it for me. And then Alien Covenant, it kind of straddled the line between Prometheus and an Alien movie, and it didn't end up really doing either that well. I thought it was funny when like David's talking about like fingering the flute and all this like innuendo stuff, but I just wasn't a big fan of Prometheus or Covenant. I'm glad they're not doing a sequel to those. Oh, Avery, how's it going? I remember taking my dad to see Evil Dead 2013. He was bummed that they killed the brother. Yeah, that movie's brutal. They do not hold back in that movie at all. The friend with the glasses, I forget his name, he gets so fucked up in that movie. I thought I'd only seen it once or maybe twice before I had rewatched it recently. And I forgot exactly how many times he was stabbed. Like, I thought he was dead after like the first part of the movie, and then he just keeps getting fucked up. Like, the poor guy. I'm gonna be the odd man here, but I am not an Evil Dead fan except for the 2013 remake. I mean, that's fair. Those movies, I feel like they're a particular taste, especially like 2 and 3. The fourth one, the Evil Dead 2013, the sequel. I just find the movie flows so well. It's super brutal. Like, it does. There's not really a boring moment in the entire movie. It's just like go, 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 and it's like super scary and super brutal. There's honestly not much to dislike about the 2013 Evil Dead. And I'm hoping Rise is the same. I'm kind of hoping Rise like mentions the 2013 movie or one of the other movies a little bit, but if they don't, it's not a big deal. Let's see here. Warwind. See, I was going to say it's more like a scary movie sequel. Honestly, it's sillier than a scary movie sequel. I don't know. They took it too far into the comedy territory for me. Lamontre, hey, how's it going? Prequel scary movie. Like a proto scary movie, kind of? Yeah, it's kind of a spoof of itself, of the first two films, really. I was told that they're looking for new directors for Scary Movie 6. Okay, if they're going to do a Scary Movie 6, you got to bring back Cindy. You got to bring back Brenda. If those two characters aren't back, I honestly don't care about the movie at all. We saw how fucking terrible Scary Movie 5 was without them. I have zero interest in watching a scary movie film without bare minimum Cindy. But you really need Cindy and Brenda. They're like the best duo in that franchise easily. Still involved with the Texas Chainsaw sequels for Netflix. I'm actually down to see a sequel to the 2022 Chainsaw Massacre. It was okay. The Sally elements were trash, honestly, like literally trash. They killed her and threw her in the garbage. But hopefully the next one will be better. 1 a.m. over there. It's always super late for you during my streams. Have you ever thought of putting these streams on Twitch under Let's Chat? I haven't, but that could be an interesting option for the future. I just do it on YouTube because I already know how to do all this and it's all set up, whereas would have to figure out the Twitch part of it, but definitely an idea to think about, Kevin. Just watched the 2013 movie tonight. Unreal how much he gets fucked up. Like, he gets so fucked up. I would like to know how many times he's stabbed because it's so brutal. He kind of deserves it though, because he's the one who unleashes that book's power on them. But it's so brutal. I have never made it to the end of Prometheus. Bring a book. Prometheus, the end is probably the best part of Prometheus. The 2 hours it takes to get there is kind of boring, honestly. I don't think so. Avery's going to be a new TCM. I don't think so, Avery. There's going to be a new TCM reboot by Sony Pictures. Another reboot? Honestly, I'm over rebooting franchises. If you're going to do anything, go with the requel route. I know they've already kind of done that with Chainsaw Massacre, but I do not want a retelling of the original story from any horror franchise ever again. Honestly, I'm just over it at this point. Early 2000s, it was fun, fine. We don't need to do that anymore. It's just fucking boring. Likes the costumes. Hearing that Crystal Lake is going to involve town politics. It's going to be interesting to see exactly what they do with the Crystal Lake TV show, because it could be very hit and miss depending on what they decide to do. They say there's going to be like adult Jason in it, but I'm skeptical of how much we'll actually get to see, especially in season 1. And what I'm most curious about, is this going to be fully set in its own continuity, or are they going to try to kind of fit it in with the original movie series timeline? If it is basically like a full reboot and it's set in its own timeline, I'm going to care about it a little bit less than I might have otherwise, but I'm still kind of excited to check it out. Okay, if they get Kane Hodder involved in the TV series as adult Jason, I'm all for that. The first scary movies were fun. The others, not fun at all for me. I actually like Scary Movie 1 to 4 quite a lot. Like I think 1 and 3 are the best, and closely followed by 2, and then 4 is a little bit worse than 1, 2, 3. But I still really enjoy like all the first 4. And then like you got like 1 to 4 up here, and then 5 just like completely tanks. It's so bad. I watched it recently and it was less horrible than I remembered it being, but still, it's not funny at all, really. Was the only TCM to have an actual massacre. That's true. The bus massacre scene in that movie is really fun. They literally are just murdering like 30 people on a bus, including like children. It's pretty brutal. Hey, what's up? Didn't you jump in the live stream for a minute last weekend? I thought I saw you in the chat briefly last weekend. I'm glad you're here, Chad. Exactly. We were live last Saturday, Chad. I'm pretty sure I saw you in the comments briefly. Alien Covenant was a slap to the fans wanting an Alien movie. Yeah, they were trying to straddle the line between Alien and Prometheus, and it just didn't. I don't think any of it worked that well, to be honest. Kane could probably do well in the role. After all, he did portray Ed Gein. Yeah, it's hard to say. He's getting pretty old at this point. Like, obviously, once he's in the makeup and stuff, it doesn't matter. But I feel like the amount of stuff he could do might not be the same as it was in the original series. But I'd be perfectly happy to see Kane return as Jason, 100%. The canceled Urban Legend reboot was going to be an LGBTQ slasher film. I mean, cool, I guess, but I don't really need it to be centered around LGBT, I guess. Like I'm all like, if they want to do that, that's fine. Like have characters be gay or whatever. But I don't making a movie with the idea that being an LGBTQ slasher just sounds like they just didn't really have a good idea. That's probably why it got canceled. There's going to be an LGBTQ slasher film set on Christmas coming later this year from the writer of Freaky Tale. Okay, that I would watch. Freaky is so good. Like, I roar laughing every time I watch it. It's such an excellent blend of comedy and horror. If the writer of Freaky is making this movie, I'll watch it 100%. I'd rather have Brenda in the lead than Cindy. Her character died too early in Scary Movie 3. I agree with that. It sucks how early Brenda leaves Scary Movie 3 because she's so funny up until the point that she dies. But then we get the funny like funeral scene with her body and stuff. But I really love in Scary Movie 4 when Cindy finally runs into Brenda again. And she's like, Brenda, I thought you were dead. And Brenda's like, oh, honey, I thought you were dead too. And they never touch on it again. I love that. See, I told you were in the chat. I thought I saw you. Yeah, and honestly, like anything that writer makes, I would watch because Freaky is just so good. I believe his name's Michael. Like he did such a good job with Freaky. I would love to see Freaky 2. I don't know what the hell they would do with it, but I would love to see a Freaky 2. Sydney, this bitch is getting water on my floor. the whole fight with Samara and Brenda is hilarious. Ooh, I'm whipping her ass, Cindy. Brenda needs to be the Jamie Lee Curtis in the next one, with Cindy being the cold open best of both worlds. As long as Cindy is in the rest of the movie, sure. I would totally be fine with Brenda being like the Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween 2018 character, though. I just found out that I Know What You Did Last Summer sequel is going to ignore. Yeah, I heard that. That makes me incredibly less excited for this movie. I'm so fucking sick of horror movies ignoring sequels at this point. Like, there's not really, honestly, a good excuse for ignoring I Still Know. Sure, yeah, like he died at the end, but they could just say he didn't die. Like, that's all. Or even just don't even address it at all. Just have him be back and don't address it. Like, I'm so tired of them being lazy and going back and ignoring previous films just to fit their narrative. I really don't like that at all. So I'm significantly less excited for I Still Know. By the way, we're going to get the movie started here in a minute. So get your movies loaded up. It's in, like I said, if you don't have a copy of the movie or the streaming service, I did post a link to watch the movie in the description for the stream, so just click on that and you can load it up. Another little white girl done fell down a well. There's so many good lines in that scene. I love it when she's like faking Cindy out with like her hand coming off and her hand lighting on fire and her frothing at the mouth and stuff too. Hey Kyle, how's it going? Good to have you in the chat. You're gonna watch the movie with us too? Cindy, the TV's leaking. I love that. Okay. I've got my movie loaded up. It's set at 0 seconds. You guys get yours all loaded up. Post in the comments when you're ready. And if you're not ready, tell me and I'll wait until you're ready. Cindy, this is just bones. I love that scene in the second movie. I love it when she's like rooting for Sid. I almost keep saying Cindy to like fall down, and she falls. She's like, "Thank you, Lord." Oh, by the way, this is Friday night, so if you have a drink with you, crack it open. I'm drinking a Blue Lobster vodka soda, sour cherry lime. Pretty good, actually. I don't know if Warwin is still in the comments, but this is one of the ones that he left here. Thank you. You guys all just about ready? Those of you who are going to be watching the movie, I'll give you another like 2-3 minutes to get it up. If you need more than that, let me know. But we'll be starting the movie otherwise here in a second. And like I said, I'm going to count down. I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then when I say play, then hit play, and then we'll all be watching it at the same time. Oh, got 2 of you ready. I'll see if my friend Shane's ready. He might have already started it. You ready, Shane? And I know you can hear me. I don't know if you're checking the comments, but is there anyone who needs like a little more time for the movie, or is everyone that's watching it good to go? Also, those of you who joined the chat, yeah, that's what I said. The Blue Lobster was the one that you left behind, Warwin. I drank one last week, and I'm drinking this one this week. But yeah, if any of you need more time, let me know, because we're going to start the movie in 2 minutes. And those of you who joined the stream after I already asked it, what's your favorite Evil Dead movie? Or I guess, what's your favorite and least favorite? Or just rank them. You can rank them too. So Philip and Pumpkin King are all good to go. And once again, if you do not have the movie, I have the movie posted in the description below. So just click the link there. It'll take you right to Go Movies, and you can watch the movie through Go Movies. Go Movies is an excellent website to watch basically whatever you want on, by the way. It's very, very handy. Go Deadites. Have any of you played the Evil Dead game? I have yet to pick that up. I wanted to play it, but it fell off my radar, but I actually do want to try it out. I mean, they weren't going to sit here until you visit again in July, so. Okay. Okay, I'm just going to reconfirm that everyone is ready with their movie. Just say ready in the comments. Pumpkin King has, he says it's pretty good. Is it kind of like similar in a bit to like Friday the 13th the game, or is it like quite different from that? It seemed like it kind of had similar vibes to Friday the 13th the game. Pumpkin King's ready. All right. We're going to start the movie here in a second. Reminder, one last time, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, and then play, and then hit play on play. And that way we're all watching at the same time. Okay, Shane says he's ready as well. Okay, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and play. Oh. Just let me know too if you can like hear my movie in the background. I'll lower the volume just so it doesn't interfere with the stream here. I love how the beginning of this has the evil or whatever going through the woods up to meet their car coming to the cabin. It's kind of disorienting having the camera go back and forth like that, but it's a nice way to set the tone for the movie. I love how that car is like in every Sam Raimi movie, even like Spider-Man and all that. Jesse McLeod, Aiden Howard, Hannah Higgins, Catherine Isabel. Is she the Ginger Snaps girl? Cassandra Nod and Justin Long have joined Jade Whittup and Joel McHale on the upcoming Christmas slasher now titled It's a Wonderful Knife. I mean, it could be fun. I'm a fan of Christmas horror movies. I watched one for the first time not that long ago called what's it called? Oh no, it's about a girl babysitting this asshole kid. He kills one of her friends. Better Watch Out. If you haven't seen Better Watch Out, check that one out. It's a great Christmas horror movie. He looks so young here. I find it pretty funny that they couldn't get the rights for their own movie when making Evil Dead 2, so they had to basically like refilm a recap of it in the first 7 minutes. Caused a lot of confusion among a lot of fans over the years, like people thinking that Evil Dead 1 was non-canon, but Bruce Campbell himself cleared this up recently, saying, yes, the first movie is canon, and the first 7 minutes of the second movie are just a total recap. So I like that he cleared that up. Yes, Pumpkin King, Better Watch Out. That's the name of it. I really, really like Better Watch Out. Yes, I don't hear anyone ever talking about it. I think it's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I was kind of stunned that I hadn't seen it before. It came out in 2016, and I only saw it in like 2021 or something like that. It's a really good movie. Watch it if you haven't seen it. I'm excited to check out the Grinch horror movie as well when that comes out. Going to read the Necronomicon around June and July for this portrayal. I would be impressed if you had a copy of the Necronomicon, Gorman. I don't know if all you guys knew this, but there's actually 3 copies of the Necronomicon in the Evil Dead universe. And that's how they kind of explain different people ending up with the book when things don't necessarily line up, or like slightly different looking books. Like the characters from Evil Dead 2013 found one of the other copies of the book, and the characters in Evil Dead Rise are going to find a copy of the book. And for those of you, I know most of you probably do know this, but in Jason Goes to Hell, the final Friday, the 9th Friday the 13th film, they actually find a copy of the Necronomicon in what I think is the Voorhees house. Sorry. What I think is the Voorhees house. And they kind of like hint that that's the reason for Jason being the way he is. So Jason might be like some sort of deadite, which is kind of cool. And then they even use the dagger to finish him off. Jonathan says he's seen the Grinch horror film but didn't really care for it. I've definitely heard mixed things on it, but I'm just gonna watch it because it's probably a really dumb, fun, one-time watch kind of a movie. I know the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey just came out on streaming, so I'm gonna check that out soon. But I have not heard good things about that. I've heard a few good things about the Grinch. I have not heard anything good about Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, so I have to be really stoned to watch that one. Avery, my sister has that book. It's called Twilight. Don't read it. Funny enough, I somehow have managed to avoid watching every single Twilight movie. I don't know how I've done it, how I've never been around people who have wanted to watch it. I just managed to avoid the franchise altogether, and I think I'm okay if I never end up seeing one of those movies, to be honest. Just not a, from people I know that have read the books, not a good franchise, unless you're like a 12-year-old girl. How many of you have watched Ash versus the Evil Dead, the TV series? Do you like that? I finished it a couple months ago. I'd never seen it before. I watched the first couple episodes and I hadn't gotten back to it. And when I was watching the Evil Dead movies, I watched the TV show right afterwards. And there's a lot of cool shit that happens in the TV show. It can be a little too silly at times, kind of like Army of Darkness, but not quite to that level of bad. The gore is like next level in that show. The studio was offended by the negative reviews for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, which was so embarrassing. I mean, I don't know what they expected, really. It was never going to be an Oscar-winning movie or even a movie that was certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. So surely they knew they would get bad reviews for something like that. Like, it's quite frankly a fucking stupid idea, but I don't know. When we're getting movies like Jeepers Creepers Reborn, Winnie the Pooh could be refreshing. I don't know. Maybe it's just as bad as that, though. But Jeepers Creepers Reborn was one of the worst movies I've seen in years. Like, I saw someone the other day saying it's slightly better than 3. No, it's not. It's quite worse than Jeepers Creepers 3, which itself is not good. So let's see here. Got comments in other places. And check YouTube, Twitter. Last stream I did, my friend Robert, who's a huge Scream fan, he joined in and he commented like once on the stream. And I guess he was commenting a bunch more, but like YouTube wasn't showing it or something. I even checked afterwards and couldn't see any of his comments. So if that's happening to you right now, message me on social media somewhere and I'll try to fix it. But hopefully all of you are able to comment just fine. Didn't even bother watching Jeepers Creepers Reborn. Honestly, you didn't really miss out on that much. It's a reboot, so it's in a different. It has nothing to do with the first 3 movies, and it's just so weird. Like, they've got the a cult involved, and a big portion of the movie takes place inside of a house. So like the creeper can't even fly around and stuff. It's just the CGI is one of the movies with the worst CGI I've ever seen in my life. Like, it's so bad. It's like mind-numbingly bad. Avery says, "Wait, Reborn is worse than the third movie? How the fuck did they accomplish that?" I don't think I'll be checking that one out. I barely watched the first two, and they were pretty decent. I love the first two. Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2, I think, are really good. The third movie is like okay at best. The fourth one is a straight up dumpster fire, though. It's significantly worse than the third movie. It's terrible from start to finish. It's not good. There's nothing good about that movie at all. I actually don't think I have anything positive to say about the fourth movie whatsoever. And the third movie, I could probably find a few positive things to say. The third one, or the fourth one, feels like it was filmed for like $10. Like, it's fucking terrible. And I heard that the people who were responsible for the fourth movie are coming back for the fifth movie potentially, and whoever made that decision deserves to be fucking fired and never hired again, because the fourth movie is absolute garbage, and the creative team behind it should not be allowed back. The cabin feels a little smaller than the one in Evil Dead 2. I don't like cellars. I don't like sand. I was shocked that Jeepers Creepers Reborn had $2 million budget. It feels like it was filmed for $1,000, and like half of that budget went to like them drinking, because they really just did not do a good job with that movie. From the script to the CGI to the practical effects to the actors, the look of the creeper, like, it was terrible all around. I don't like. There's nothing good about that movie at all. Worst, I've seen 2 of them in theaters. I know I am disgusting, but I was a young group of friends wanted to see it. What did you see in theaters, Warwin? Like 2 Jeepers Creepers films? Because the first 2 are good. I really like the first 2 a lot. The cast for the first 2 Jeepers Creepers films are great. Even if they got the original Creeper actor back, nothing could make me watch Reborn at this point. I would say watch it just to see how terrible it is. I'll probably watch it once more the next time I rewatch the franchise, just to reevaluate how I feel about it. But quite frankly, when I rewatch horror franchises, I usually watch all of the movies in a franchise, like even if some of them aren't the greatest. I usually just suffer through it. Jeepers Creepers Reborn is probably one, depending on how my second watch goes, that I'll never watch again after that. It's that bad. I'll be right back. I have to post something quickly. Of course, Jonathan, we'll see you in a few. Tell us what you posted when you come back. I can't believe that girl wore a white scoop neck top in the woods. I know. What was she thinking? Like, don't wear white clothing in a horror movie. Which I know she doesn't know she's in a horror movie, but like, come on, girl. What are you doing? Bruce Campbell looks so young and boyish in this movie. In the second one, he looks a little bit more tough, I guess. He has like a As well as he goes through the entire first movie in the first 7 minutes of the second movie, but he just seems so innocent in this one. And in the second one, it seems like he's like, oh, well, fuck, here we go again. I really hope I know he probably won't, but I'd love to see him cameo in Rise, just even for a second at the end or something. I know he says he's not in it, which is a bummer, but when I think of this franchise, I still think of Bruce Campbell. It's like rock. What the hell do they have hanging from the ceiling? Something I love about watching these older movies or just like the major horror franchises is no matter how many times I've seen them, it feels like every time I watch them, I see something that I hadn't seen before. Even if it's just something small, like something in the background or like something one of the characters does. I always love picking up on new things that I haven't seen before in these movies. Oh, there's a poster for The Hills Have Eyes. That's cool. See, I didn't notice that before. Yes, Brent. I'm very excited for Rise. Looks so good. Like so good. I only watched the first trailer for it, and that's enough for me. I'm done watching like every single trailer for a movie comes out. Like when Scream 6 released their teaser trailer, I watched that. And then after that, I was done. I did not watch a single other trailer for Scream 6, and I'm really glad I didn't. I didn't watch, I think I watched the first teaser for Halloween Ends. We all know how that turned out, but I'll probably just be watching teasers for trailers from now on and not watching full trailers, especially for things like Scream, just because I don't need to see kills and plot details for stuff like that. I'm gonna go see the movie. I don't need to be convinced to see the movie. It'll be weird without him. Well, I mean, he wasn't in the 2013 movie aside from like post-credit scene thing, and I thought that movie worked fine without him. But honestly, something I hate about this franchise is not the franchise, I guess, but just like the Evil Dead TV show was that like Bruce or Ash. Sorry, I don't know why I just blanked on his name. Ash knows what this book is capable of and what it's done before, and he breaks it out on a hookup while he's stoned and reads it to some girl. Like, what the fuck was that? That was kind of like that was something that almost made me not watch the TV show because I just thought it was so stupid. Like, it was a little too Army of Darkness, I guess. Like, I wish just like he had the girl over, she finds the book, she reads from the book instead of having him do it, because having him do it is just stupid, and it makes him responsible for like all the deaths that happen after that. So it's just I didn't like that. The Twilight movies, I've seen 2 in theaters and all of them on DVD. Yes, they're terrible, but fun to laugh at. Seeing Newman in theaters was funny. I sat by 2 chicks sharing popcorn, and the girl closest to me had her hands down her pants every time Jacob was on screen. Okay. Interesting, I guess. I guess she really liked Jacob. A little too much, maybe. Maybe do that when you get home, girl. You don't need to do that in the theaters. Nobody wants to see that. Chicharita. Tatra are Mr. Robin. I love that the recording is enough to reawaken the evil. Like they don't even have to say it themselves. The recording will do it. I feel like she's overreacting a bit. That was very extra. There's no need to be acting like that from a recording. Relax, Cheryl. Chill. I love that Ash almost has like, at least when he's like staring straight forward, it almost looks like a mushroom cut or something. He could have had a better haircut for the movie. Literally, she could have just reached over and turned it off herself. It was right in front of her. She didn't have to be like, no. Like, relax, Cheryl. That's a blurry fucking shot. I can barely even see them. Holy, is that as blurry for anyone else as it is for me? I can like this shot is super blurry. Also, this cabin's so dirty. I don't even know why anyone would be remotely turned on to be hooking up in a cabin like this. It's like begging to catch some sort of like disease or get tetanus from being poked on a rusty fucking box spring or something. She may have been distressed. I would say so, yes. I feel like he could have maybe shaved his unibrow before the movie. I guess you only see it when it zooms in like that, but yeah, that was. I don't think I noticed that the last time I watched the movie. Like that quick scene there, it was very, very, very blurry. There's like, fuck it, we'll throw it in the movie. We don't need to reshoot it. Yeah, it looks like an abandoned like crack house, like a formerly used crack house, not even one being in use. Who I can't remember. Maybe they said whose cabin is this supposed to be again? I used to know. I just don't remember off the top of my head. A little lemon oil is maybe not a good enough solution. Are you even really living if you don't get tetanus from an illicit cabin in the woods hookup? True. Gotta live on the dangerous side. In Florida, we call that a mansion. Well, a lot of interesting things happen in Florida, and I believe that wholeheartedly. I guess they're in the woods, but at the same time, like, close your blinds, people. And what is with this like red ceiling light? Honestly, just pull her out the window now. Cheryl's annoying. Join us. Join us. I noticed that there's a chainsaw in Evil Dead Rise. I understand like why it's there, but I feel like you could probably not have a chainsaw in every single Evil Dead movie, especially if Ash isn't the one who's using it. Like, just do something else. Just posted something about the new cast of Welcome to Derry. I heard the plot synopsis of that yesterday, and I I'll watch it, like especially if Bill Skarsgård is back. Wait, is it Bill? The guy who played him. If the guy from the two recent movies is back as Pennywise, I'll watch it. But at the same time, like four kids who have one of their friends disappear near some power plant or something. It sounds very like Stranger Thingsy, and not to mention like we've already seen the kids plot in the two movies. Like I feel like they could have done something else, but I'm sure it'll be good. It better be good if they're paying the actual movie Pennywise to come back.
I heard you in the cellar.
What is she doing? Go the fuck back in the house. Like you're an idiot. Who do you think you're talking to? It's like, oh, I'm just going to go outside without any of my friends and yell at this voice I've been hearing. Okay, Cheryl, you do that. Oh, it gets worse. The rumored title for I Know What You Did Last Summer is the sequel is I Know What You Did Last Summer 2. That is so. The more I hear about this movie, the more I think it's going to be trash. Honestly, I Know What You Did Last Summer 2. Like, call it I Still Remember What You Did Last Summer, or like just something like the second one was I Still Know, the third one's I'll Always Know. Do something like that. Come on. Like part 2, that's just lazy. As lazy as removing the second movie from the timeline because it's too difficult to work around. Try harder. Well, I remember him saying he wasn't yet, but I thought like a day or two ago that it was confirmed that he was back. Maybe not though. Twitter says a lot of shit. I know a lot of people now are not a big fan of this scene. I saw someone ranting about it on Twitter the other day. I don't think they gave an explanation as to who owns the cabin, at least not in this film. It's just abandoned. I guess whoever in Evil Dead 2 belongs to Annie. Basically, Ash was trespassing. Yeah, I thought they'd said who it belonged to, but how do they even know the cabin was there? But whatever. Thinking too hard about it. It seems like she both likes and dislikes this tree attack. I don't know. It's kind of an oddly like serious scene for such a silly franchise. Not counting the 2013 movie, of course. Sure thing, Cheryl. Like, what is she thinking? This is what you get for following random voices you're hearing outside into the woods. That's what I thought, Jonathan. I thought I had seen that he was coming back. If he wasn't, I don't know that I would really care about the show that much. I just feel weird. One thing I will say is stop making everything a TV show. I know it can be good, but like it's so much easier when watching a franchise to go back and just watch the movies. It's an hour and a half, 2 hours, you're done. I don't want to have to go back and watch 7 seasons of a TV show, even if it's good. It's like The Conjuring is getting a TV show or a TV series soon. I don't know what they're going to do with it. Maybe it's just going to be I saw somebody say that maybe each episode is going to focus on one of the Warrens items they have in their like locked up room, and that could be cool. But at the same time, like, just do like an anthology Conjuring movie. I'm getting tired of everything being made into a TV show. Like, I like the Chucky TV series. I think that's good. But at the same time, I'm probably almost ready for the TV show to end and for them to go back to movies. But I don't know. If they give me 10 seasons of the Chucky TV series, I won't be that upset about it because I do actually really like the Chucky TV show. I wasn't as big of a fan of season 2 as I was of season 1. I just found the Seed of Chucky elements of the show dragged it down. While I thought it was cool seeing Glenn and Glenda again and what they were up to and their involvement in the storyline, one or two of the episodes were a little too Seed of Chucky feeling, a little too silly, and I wasn't really a fan of it. Also, Jake was like a fucking moron for at least half of that season, like with the good Chucky stuff. Like they really made me not like Jake in season 2. My favorite character is easily Lexi. I love Lexi in the Chucky TV series. It's pretty crazy that Five Nights at Freddy's and Saw X are coming out the same day, October 27th. I know. My opinion on that is, I guess, who cares? Like, I feel like the kids would be going to see Five Nights at Freddy's while adults will be going to see Saw 10. So it's not really a big deal. Like, I've never personally played or had anything to do with the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise, so I probably won't even watch the movie unless I hear like incredibly good things about it. I know I'll be seated for Saw 10 that day, not Five Nights at Freddy's. The Harry Potter reboot at Max sounds so stupid. What I had read was that the original, or that this talk of the TV series, the Harry Potter TV series, was going to be used as leverage to strong arm Daniel Radcliffe and Emma Watson into a Cursed Child movie. I guess that didn't work because they decided to go forward with the TV series. But honestly, just, I don't know. I suppose it's hard to remove the creator from new products in the franchise, but just have her. She wasn't really involved with the play that much for Cursed Child. Just pay her some money, have her sit out really having much to do with the Cursed Child movie. Allow Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe to come back. Have them do one last movie. Or honestly, you could probably get a trilogy out of that. Like have the first one be Cursed Child, because that is during Harry's son's 5th year, I believe, at Hogwarts. And then have the 6th year be a movie and the 7th year be a movie. There you go, new Harry Potter trilogy. Which could still happen while the TV series is going, but I feel like the chances of that have gone down now that they're doing a TV show. And their casting better be fucking good for the TV show. If they fuck around with the casting, it's going to be an instant failure. Like, find kids that when you see them, you think Harry, Ron, Hermione. Like, they need to nail, like, Harry, Ron, Hermione, Draco, Dumbledore, Hagrid, like all those, like those, McGonagall, like a lot of the Harry Potter characters, even if they're going to be with new actors, they should be recognizable. Like you should be able to look at that character and say, oh, that's McGonagall. Oh, that's Harry. Oh, that's Hagrid. You're hearing really good things about Saw X. That's exciting. I actually have to rewatch the Saw franchise. I haven't watched them in years now. Like I don't even think I rewatched them all when Spiral or even maybe Jigsaw came out. So it's been a while since I've watched all of the Saw movies. I remember liking Saw 1, 2, and 3 a lot, not being big on 4 and 5. I remember liking 6, and then after that, I don't really think I cared much. Like I saw them all, but I don't think I really cared much about the other sequels. Jigsaw was okay, I guess. And then Spiral was decent, but at the same time, I can't take Chris Rock seriously in a horror movie. It took me out of it having him even being in the movie. And then having Samuel L. Jackson be in the movie, like he's too famous to be in a movie like Saw. Like, no. He should not. He should never have been in Spiral. So hopefully Saw X is back to 1, 2, 3 levels of goodness. Cheryl, get in the fucking house. Cheryl's an annoying character. Like at the beginning of the 2013 movie, when they have the two people have their daughter tied to the pole, and the only way to like cleanse her is to like set her on fire. Such a brutal scene. I think a full Jeepers Creepers reboot should go in a different studio, and Zach Kreger from Barbarian should direct. It should be completely taken away from whoever has it right now. Like, I didn't think they could make a movie worse than 3, and they really fumbled it hard. Like, Jeepers Creepers 4 needed to be a good movie, and it being the worst, like easily the worst in the franchise, really hurt the IP even further. Like, they can't just release another movie, like a 5th movie, and have it be as dog shit as the 4th one was. It's... Oh, there we go. Finally, something interesting happening to her. You'll die. Yeah, she just hysterical. She needs to relax. Not relax, but like rolling around on the ground and like hitting ash and stomping your hands on the ground or slamming your hands on the ground. It's not helping your situation. It's just being ridiculous. Oof. Oh, the ankle stab is pretty brutal. Oh. Whack. The way people talk about Bruce Campbell's evolution in the franchise, he's gone from boy next door to stud. Yeah, I don't know if stud. I mean, he's not... I don't know how I would describe Bruce Campbell. I need to rewatch The Faculty. It has been probably like 15 years since I've even seen it. I think I've only seen it once. I really need to rewatch The Faculty. I don't remember anything about it. I know it's good, but I literally remember nothing about the movie. Except that Josh Hartnett's in it. How did you not see her hand moving, grabbing the pencil? I know it. Like she wasn't stealthy about it. Like she literally reached over, grabbed the pencil, turned her hand around, got ready to stab, and he was staring straight at her. Like, how did he miss that? How exciting that Mia Goth got cast in Blade. Yeah, I was very excited to hear about that. Like, she super deserves that. And Blade is a great movie to put her in. Like, I think she'll do an excellent job in whatever they get her to do. But if I could have Mia Goth cast in anything right now, it would be Scream 7. Having Mia Goth in a Scream movie would be fucking phenomenal. She would be so good in a Scream movie, especially if she was the killer, like doing the flip from good to bad. She would be so good at that. And having like her and Jenna Ortega share scenes, just like X, it'd be so good. I'd love that. You could even have Jenna Ortega like mention X or something like that, and then they could like look at each other like a like a little fun reference. I do like these shots from inside the basement cellar, like the first person view here. Why is everyone so extra? What happened to her eyes? In Melissa Barrera being the upcoming Universal monster movie by Radio Silence, that's exciting, actually. I didn't really have much to say about Melissa Barrera after Scream 5. Like she was fine. Like didn't blow me away. She was fine. But in Scream 6, I think she did a really, really, really good job. Like it was like night and day from 5 to 6. Like she made me really care about Sam. She did an excellent job acting. A lot of great lines and scenes with Sam. So I'm actually excited to see her in whatever she's in next. Like give it in the fact that she's going to be in one of their movies and in a Universal Monster movie. I'm all for it. I'm actually really excited to see what happens with Sam and Tara in Scream 7 now. But I'm scared to fucking death that like they're going to do something stupid like killing off Kirby. I feel like if Sidney and Gale are back, it's almost assured that Gale is going to die this time. I don't know. I just, as long as the franchise ends with Sidney and Kirby still being alive, I can be happy. Killing Kirby would just fucking piss me off. I would be so mad if Kirby died. There's no need for it at all. The core four, one of the twins needs to die in 7 for sure, 100%. One of them needs to die. And I don't think they should kill Jenna Ortega because I think that would be a massive mistake. She's one of the biggest names in the franchise now, and I think even if the current like sister storyline is done with 7, Jenna Ortega could easily lead her own Scream film without Melissa Barrera or without any of the other returning cast from 6 or 5. Like she could easily just lead her own Scream film. So I feel like Sidney, Kirby, and Tara, especially those 3, should survive Scream 7. It would be a mistake to kill any of them. Because even Kirby herself could lead her own Scream movie without any of these other characters being involved. I saw someone on Twitter mention it. A Kirby Scream TV series where she's investigating different Ghostface killings and being involved like with new Ghostfaces through a TV show. Would fucking love that so much. You agree with me? Yeah, I think it'd be a good idea. Gale should have died in 6. I don't agree with that. If Gale's gonna die, she should die in a movie that has Sidney in it so that we can see Sidney's reaction to Gale's death. I think killing Gale off at all is kind of a disservice to the franchise. But killing her off, especially in a movie that doesn't even have Sidney in it, is kind of borderline disrespectful to the character. But her chase scene was fucking amazing. Have heard about that upcoming A24 film Y2K about computers going on a killing spree. That kind of sounds like Chopping Mall to me, actually. So I'm down to check it out.
I don't know what I would have done if I had remained on those hot coals, burning my pretty flesh. You have pretty skin. Let you
I love the look of the Deadites in the original movie. They change up the look as like the sequels go on and stuff, but I think the way they look in this first movie is really good. I agree. We need to see Sid's reaction, but come on, she's been stabbed and shot how many times now? Did you miss Chad being stabbed 20 to 30 times and living? I think at this point, being stabbed is like a paper cut in the Scream films, and I don't know. Gail has just been around. She's a staple of the franchise, and I find, especially since Dewey being killed, when you go back and watch those original 4 movies, knowing that Dewey just dies, it kind of hurts the enjoyment of those movies. At least for me, like I just feel sad seeing Dewey's scenes in those movies because I know it doesn't matter that he survives; he just ends up dying. And I don't want to feel that way about Gail and especially Sidney. Like if they were dumb enough to kill Sidney off, I would probably be done with the Scream franchise for good. I don't think I would ever watch another Scream movie again, and I would stop rewatching the franchise. And if I ever did watch anything, it would only be 1 to 4. But even then, knowing that Sidney dies would ruin the franchise for me. It's almost 2 a.m. over here. Why do you do this to me? I'm sorry, Jonathan. I love that dagger is in Jason Goes to Hell. True. But I can definitely see why some people might want Gail to die. Obviously, she's been around a long time. She's getting older. I just feel like I'd rather know that Gail is out there, even if she's not directly involved in any more movies. Like, just know that she's doing news reports on the new killings, even if she's not directly involved. Like, I like to know that the characters are out there, that they had some level of a happy ending. I know it's hard for Gail to have a happy ending with Dewey having been killed, but I don't know. I don't feel like every horror character needs to die. I don't think stakes are a good enough reason to kill off a character who was the lead or like one of the leads 4 movies in a row. I don't like it. Like whenever I think about things I really don't like about horror franchises or things that have happened, killing Rachel in Halloween 4 was a massive mistake. Killing Jamie in Halloween 6 or killing Rachel in Halloween 5 was a mistake. Killing Jamie in Halloween 6 was a mistake. Killing Laurie in Resurrection was a fucking massive mistake. Let's see. I'm fine with Alice dying in Friday 2. If they killed Tommy Jarvis, that would have been a mistake. Killing Nancy Thompson in Nightmare 3 was a huge mistake. Like, that is the biggest mistake in the franchise. I don't know. Finally got the computer ready to rock. Got to head out. Have a great stream, Josh, and see you tomorrow. Definitely. I'm excited to join the birthday stream tomorrow on Good Real Hunting. Make sure you guys head over to Good Real Hunting as soon as this stream is over, because they're watching Friday the 13th, Part 3 3D, and that is a super fun sequel, so make sure to join them for that. And join them tomorrow at 8 p.m. EST for Brett's birthday stream. If every character dies, it ruins tension. Well, I feel like one of the best things about Scream 6 was being scared that Gail could die, but then feeling relieved when she didn't. I just, especially for someone like David Arquette, he would have returned for every single Scream movie every time they asked him to do it. And by killing him off, you ruin the opportunity for a future writer to potentially write a great story for that character or using that character. And you prevent the actor from being able to return. Like, we'll never see David Arquette in another Scream film ever again. And I feel like they could have just did what they always did or did what they do with Chad. Really, really, really injure the characters, like fuck them up, send them to the hospital, have them almost die. But I feel like at this point they don't need to die. It doesn't really help anything. It's just losing the character. Have you watched Venom from 2005? It was produced by Kevin Williamson and was directed by the same guys. I Know What You Did Last Summer. No, I have not seen that movie. Is it good, Jonathan? Well, the thing is, she only requested that in Resurrection because they fucked her over with H2O and they wouldn't give her the ending that she thought she was going to get. H2O was Jamie Lee Curtis's idea, and John Carpenter and all that was supposed to be involved. But when they wouldn't allow Michael to be killed at the end, she was furious. She was just done at that point. She wanted nothing more to do with the franchise if they were going to fuck up her movie, her ending. And she just wanted to be killed off. That's not a good excuse. Like, if anything, they should have had her in the last 10 minutes of the movie coming back to save Sarah, and Busta Rhymes should not have saved Sarah. It should have been Laurie Strode coming in. She kills Michael, and then her and Sarah escape is what should have happened in that movie. But by killing off Laurie in the first 15 minutes, it's one of the worst decisions in any major horror franchise. You have to watch The Breed, produced by Wes Craven. I might have seen The Breed a long time ago, but I don't. Like, if I did, I don't remember anything about it. So I would definitely have to watch that again. Venom from 2005 is like I Know What You Did Last Summer meets Jeepers Creepers. Interesting. I'll have to check it out. After you watch The Faculty, too, now that you guys mentioned it. I never really got how possession worked in these movies. It just seems like anyone can get infected, possessed at any time. But then there's Ash, who is some level of immune to it. Like, obviously, we do see him get possessed briefly during, I think it was the second movie. I don't remember what happens in this one too, but in the second movie. But everyone else, it's just anytime, boom, you're a dead egg. Like Buddy on the Couch, even if he hasn't awakened yet, I would just assume he's going to be a dead egg because she got a stabbed in the ankle and she's all fucking crazy. He's fucked up and he's not dead yet. I don't know. I don't buy it. Cheryl was right. No, she wasn't. She shouldn't have went outside. We're all going to die, all of us. This scene scared the shit out of me as a kid. I don't remember when I first watched these movies. I wouldn't have been younger than 11, 12. I think 11 is when I first got into horror movies, like actually into them. The trees are alive. I will say, like, Ash is remarkably calm for having like all his friends being turned into demons, basically. Like, sure, he's starting to freak out now, but he's just like talking to his friend on his couch while his girlfriend is behind him possessed. I would shoot her just to show her the fuck up. Jesus Christ. Eli Roth Thanksgiving film sounds super intriguing to me. I wondered when they were going to get around to making that because they were like slowly making all the movies from that Grindhouse, like the trailers for that. I'm excited to watch it actually. Hopefully it's good. They totally went overboard with the laughter. Like, I get what they were trying to do. Like, they were trying to like have her kind of like almost like driving Ash crazy with the laughing, but it went on for a little too long. You can see the prod cables in the ceiling. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of like in, I think it's a Nightmare on Elm Street. I think it's Nightmare on Elm Street when Freddy gets knocked over the railing of the stairs and he falls onto the steps, and you can see the mattress on the steps when he hits. Ash's bruise just looks like a lot of like blush. Thanks a ton for joining in, Jonathan. It means a lot that you stopped in and talked for as long as you did. I know it's super late there for you. Like I said, we're going to be streaming on Good Will Hunting tomorrow for Brett's birthday, so you should definitely come join us if you had a chance. Have a good night. For those of you who have seen the Evil Dead TV series, like Ash vs. the Evil Dead, I find it really funny, like kind of like how Evil Dead 2 couldn't use scenes from Evil Dead 1 because of a rights issue. Ash versus the Evil Dead couldn't use scenes from Army of Darkness, which is just funny. So that's why like Army of Darkness isn't really mentioned that much in Ash versus the Evil Dead, is because they didn't pay for the rights to use anything from the movie. So the only stuff you do see from like the time of Army of Darkness is the original ending for Evil Dead 2, like scenes from that, like clips from that. You don't see anything from the actual Army of Darkness movie, which is kind of funny how that happened twice in one franchise. My friend Shane says, it's entirely possible I've never actually seen this movie before. 2 might have been the first one I watched. That's the case for a lot of people, because a lot of people, and this might not be the case for you, Shane, but a lot of people think that the first movie is non-canon and that the second movie is the actual start of the continuity. Like the first one, they remade the first one, but that's not actually the case. They weren't able to use, or they weren't able to get the rights to the original movie when doing the second movie, so they couldn't do flashbacks. So they just refilmed scenes for basically the first 7 minutes of Evil Dead 2 are just a recap of Evil Dead 1. So it's not that the movie didn't happen, because it did. It's just they recap it with new scenes and stuff at the beginning of the second one because they couldn't use scenes from the original. But the first one is still canon. I thought it was pretty good. Like, you can't take it too seriously. It's very Evil Dead 2, where it's funny and also like really gory with lots of blood and stuff. I would say if you're a fan of the franchise, definitely watch it, because it does, like, everything in the franchise, like the first 4 movies, are relevant to the TV series. They don't expressly mention the 2013 movie, but there is like a little nod to it at one point. Like, they do kind of almost touch on it. And then Army of Darkness is kind of the same thing. Like, they kind of mention it a little bit, but for the most part, they don't because of rights issues. But I thought it was good. The ending is actually crazy. The ending of the TV show, like, some crazy shit happens at the end of the TV series. I've yet to watch the show, but I believe I read that Lee Majors was cast as Ash's father. Let me see who that is. I think I know who it is, but I just want to confirm. Yes, that is Ash's father in the TV show. You get to actually go to Ash's like childhood home and see his bedroom and see his dad and his hometown. A lot of the TV show is set in his hometown. Also, I can't believe it. I'm going to blank on her name, but the lady that plays Xena, Warrior Princess, is also in Ash versus the Evil Dead. She's really great in that TV show, actually. There's also two side kind of main characters in the show. I forget both of their names off the top of my head. Is a guy and a girl. I like the girl. I think she's a really good addition to this franchise. The guy I didn't like so much. I was not a fan of the sidekick guy. He was just, I don't know. Didn't like him. It is campy fun. Like, the TV series is totally campy fun from start to finish. It can get really serious at times, like people die and stuff like that, and it's like super gory and bloody. But it's kind of like Evil Dead 2, where it doesn't take itself like super super seriously, but not quite as ridiculous as Army of Darkness. Yes, Lucy Lawless. She's in. I don't know why I blanked on her name. She's in the Evil Dead TV series for like a lot of it, actually. It's like she's one of the main characters, or like, I guess kind of like one of the main characters, one of the main cast in that TV show. Pumpkin King says the TV show was pretty good. Yeah, I liked it. I'd watch it again eventually. It's kind of like what I was saying before, whereas like I'm kind of tired of things being TV shows, because like I can rewatch a movie once a year. I don't know if I would want to rewatch like a 3-season TV show once a year, but I'll watch it again eventually. Yes, yeah, Lucy Lawless. Lee Majors is good casting. Makes sense they chose him for the role. Yeah, he's really good as Ash's dad. Like, they have a really good, I'm gonna say connection, but like they play off each other really good in that TV show. I love Lucy Lawless. Xena was my jam when I was a younger dude. I used to like watching Xena a lot too, actually. I never really cared for like Beastmaster, but Xena was always good fun. But I was always a Buffy the Vampire Slayer guy, so it made sense why I also kind of like Xena. Buffy was my shit. Like, Buffy the Vampire Slayer is easily my favorite TV show of all time. See, now that he's kind of like, his hair is a little different, he's getting dirty and sweaty, I would say this version of Ash is edging on like hot territory, whereas earlier in the movie he had almost like a mushroom cut and shit. Buffy is so good. Like, I see some people now trying to say like Buffy is like problematic and shit like that. Like, fuck off. Buffy is one of the best TV shows of all time. A lot of the shit they talk about in the TV show is still relevant today. Like, it's just good from start to finish. Sure, there's some episodes and arcs that aren't like the greatest, but overall, but the Buffy the Vampire Slayer was fucking amazing. Like, there's been very few shows since Buffy that have been to the level of goodness as Buffy and also stuck the landing like Buffy did with its series finale. Like, a lot of shows fumble their final seasons and series finale, and Buffy did not. And I liked Angel a lot too. It sucks that they didn't get to finish. Although I did read Angel season 6, like the comic books, and that was fucking crazy. Some crazy shit happens in that. One of the newer DVD collection box sets of Buffy is horribly edited. You can see the cameraman on the rooftop scenes from when they're shooting a fight sequence. The lighting's altered and is reformatted. You're talking about the Buffy versus Faith fight, right? You can see the cameraman standing over the side filming. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck they were thinking with that. Like, that's laziness at its finest. Don't redo shit and make it worse. Just honestly, if you can't if you can't re-release it without having like literal crew members in shots, just don't do it. We enjoy the social progress we had today because of shows like Buffy and the people who watch it. Exactly. Like, Buffy was so important and like it was able to get its messages across in very effective ways, and it was just good. Like, there were so many good plot lines in Buffy. Like, every now and then there'd be ones that are kind of whatever, like the Beer Bad episode and the one where they're all possessed by hyena spirits. But it's still all good fun. Like, I if somebody doesn't like Buffy, it makes me question that. It's just weird. Like, Buffy's so good. It's a shame that Sarah Michelle Gellar won't return to the role, but I kind of understand. This is one of the good gross movies, or good gross scenes in this movie when the blood from her neck is going into his mouth. Hush is one of the best episodes. I believe that's season 4. Yeah, that is from season 4. Hush is a really, really good episode. I believe they won some sort of award for that episode. I forget exactly which award it was, but yeah, Hush is great. I really love Hush. One of my favorite episodes is, I guess I don't want to spoil it for anyone. I know Buffy was over like 20 years ago, but there's a scene where she comes home in season 5 and she's looking for one of her family members and they're dead on the couch at the end of the episode, and like dead, not just like, oh, they're revived by the next episode kind of thing, like dead. And it was like super emotional. And I remember being like shocked when it happened. Buffy was good at really shocking its audience with certain things. Season 5 is one of my favorite seasons of Buffy with Glory and all that. But I like most of the seasons. Honestly, my least favorite season is actually probably 4 with the initiative and all that, but I still like it. The body, yeah. I'm just trying to like. I'm sure there's at least one person in the chat who might not have seen Buffy, so I'm just trying to dance around to what happens in that episode. But the body is one of the best episodes of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It was sad. Like, Buffy really knew how to do sad episodes, and that is easily one of the ending of that last episode was shocking, and then the whole next episode of The Body was heartbreaking. Like, it was really well done. French Jane says he definitely doesn't think he's seen this one before. It's very possible. A lot of people miss out on Evil Dead 1 because of Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 seemed, at least for a long time, to get all of the hype and like the love from the franchise. But honestly, Evil Dead 1 is underrated. It's really, I enjoy it a lot. Also, I've got my Evil Dead Blu-ray right there on my shelf, if you can see it behind me. I love how the movie just gets like progressively bloodier as time goes on. I know this is like supernaturally activated, but like, how the fuck does this cabin even have electricity out in the woods? I guess they could have a generator or something, but episodes I recall watching most of my childhood: Hush, Once More with Feeling, Tabula Rasa, and Halloween. It was usually Buffy and X-Files recorded on VHS tapes every Friday night. Once More with Feeling is one of the best musical episodes of anything ever. It is just so good all around. All of the songs are really well done. And it's so incredibly relevant to the plot. It's not just a filler like most musical episodes are. The ending is so important to season 6. Like Buffy explaining what happened when they brought her back and all that. Like it's so important and so well done. Once More with Feeling is one of my favorite episodes of Buffy easily. It's so good. Tabula Rasa is hilarious. I always look forward to that episode when it comes around. It's Willow fucking around, but I love when everyone forgets and they're like, she's like, I'm Joan. I really like that episode a lot. Now, Halloween is a really great episode too, where they all become their costumes. That's really well done. I love that Xander retains his military knowledge for the series too after becoming a military guy in that episode. I miss all these practical effects so much. Too many movies and media. Too few movies and media use them anymore. I agree. Practical effects are always better. It's like CGI does not trump practical effects in any way, shape, or form. The only time I really like CGI in movies like this is when it's just helping out a little bit and it's not the main focus. Because like, there's a lot of movies that could have been better if they just used practical effects, and instead they use shitty CGI, which as time goes on is going to look even worse. And I feel like Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 is a culprit for that. It uses way too much CGI. Whenever Nightmare comes back and Friday the 13th and all that, they need to lean more into practical effects than CGI, because the CGI just doesn't cut it in horror movies, really. For sure. I remember thinking Once More with Feeling was going to suck, and then it was one of the best episodes. Yeah, it's easy to think that a musical episode is going to be shitty, but Once More with Feeling was just so well done. It's like, I think the fact that it's so heavily tied into the plot and it's basically essential. Like, you cannot skip Once More with Feeling. You need to watch it when you're watching the series. And I think because of that and how well they did with the songs and stuff, it's one of the best musical episodes of anything ever. Like, it just facts. I didn't get into Buffy or X-Files, surprisingly, since I'm a diehard horror fan. I would give Buffy another try if you haven't. Buffy is just... It's one of the best TV series of all time. Like, it's just so well done. Xander's a military guy in the Buffy comics, if memory serves. Well, in the Buffy comic books, sees like they continue the Buffy series in comic book form, and there's like season 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and they're all canon as well. He basically becomes the leader of the like Slayer, the group of Slayers that Buffy has after season 7. And because of his retained military knowledge from the Halloween episode, he's able to like be the tactical leader or whatever. I'm fine with that. I mean, he was kind of not really having that much to do in seasons, like as the seasons went on. So I was fine with him doing that with Xander. I think the best recent movie with practical effects was The Void. I actually haven't seen The Void yet, so it's pretty good. Should I check it out? Agree. CGI helping is okay. The Hellraiser reboot is a good example of this. The Nightmare remake was abysmal due to among other things, its overuse of CGI. Yeah, the Hellraiser, I guess, reboot is a good example of that. Like they use CGI, but only to help with things, and like obviously certain shots, but like it was not overdone in any way, shape, or form in that movie. Whereas the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot had the audacity to redo that famous Nancy bed scene where Freddy pushes through the wall with, like, even for the time, complete ass CGI. Like, I don't know what the fuck. Like, what were they thinking? The original movie is so good because of the practical effects, and they threw that all out the window to be lazy. Not to mention Rooney Mara is like an overcooked piece of toast acting. She's terrible in that movie. Katie Cassidy should have been the lead of the Nightmare on Elm Street reboot. It should have been Katie Cassidy. Oh man, you should just do a watch party with The Void. It's Lovecraftian and some good practical effects. Not going to change your life, but it stays a solid 7. Very reminiscent of Event Horizon. So what I would do is watch The Void alone first, so that I could like soak in the movie. Because sometimes I find during watch parties, like I'm so busy talking and stuff, it's hard to take in a movie for the first time if I haven't seen it before. Like Evil Dead, I've seen it I don't even know how many times, so it's easy to like go to chat and look back and still know what's going on. But after I watch The Void for myself, that could definitely be an option, is doing it on the channel. I've yet to decide if I want to do Evil Dead 2, 3, and 4 on the channel before the Evil Dead Rise comes out. I'll decide tomorrow or the next day and see how I feel about it. But maybe I would do Evil Dead 2. Yeah, I definitely will. It's been one I've been meaning to check out, and I just never got around to. I kind of forgot about it. I'll have to put it on my list of movies to watch, because I actually have a list on my phone of movies I need to watch. Like how the Deadites all become like zombie old women by the end of the movie. Like even the guy's hair is turned gray and it's all floofy and like look at him, he looks like a grandma. The Elm Street remake kind of killed his talent early on. Keelan Lutz, Thomas Dekker, I think Jackie was a neat choice for Freddy, but the script and direction was awful. Don't get me started on Rooney. I mean, Keelan Lutz, let's not pretend he's like the best actor ever. He was there to be hot and die, and he did that. He did fine. Thomas Dekker he was completely unbelievable as a bad boy character. He, no way, shape, or form does he emanate bad boy energy. Like he looks more like a nerd than bad boy. So I don't know what they were thinking there either. Like him and Keelan Lutz almost should have had reversed roles. Because Thomas Dekker does not feel like a bully or a bad character at all. I think Katie Cassidy should have they should have either pulled a fast one on us and killed off Nancy and then had Katie Cassidy be the main character of the Nightmare reboot, or just had her be Nancy and dyed her hair or something. Like she's such a great actress, and it was a mistake to kill her off that early in the film. Jackie was a good choice for Freddy, but the look for Freddy was a total miss. They should have just used the same makeup that Robert uses. It was dumb to try to change it to be more realistic with all the crappy CGI. And then making Freddy a straight up pedophile in the remake was also a mistake. In the original, he's a child killer, and then they don't really get into details too much, which is exactly how it should be. What's that, like oatmeal? I'm just watching the movie. Yeah, they fumbled Freddy in that movie. So, but Jackie could have been a good option. I saw some people saying that one of the actor who plays Vecna in Stranger Things would be a great Freddy Krueger, and I actually agree with that because Vecna is basically Freddy. I think he'd be a great option for a new Freddy Krueger. Yeah, Rooney was absolutely horrible in the Nightmare remake. She was like a just flat board. She had no. It just felt like she was a brand new actress who had never acted before. Like she was terrible. Not to mention that she said later that she doesn't give a shit about Nightmare on Elm Street and she didn't care about the movie at all. So way to be in the remake of a classic series and not give a shit about it. Fuck off, Rooney Mara, honestly. Katie was the star. She was the best thing in the movie, and then they killed her off, and the movie got significantly worse. The only good thing to happen after Katie Cassidy dies is the Micronaps sequence in the drugstore when she's walking up the aisle and it's going in and out of the dream world, and Freddy's there and he's gone. Which is really good, but everything else is meh at best. That was a last-minute change for the original based on an incident in the news. Elaborate on that if you could. Poor Ash, covered in all his friends' blood. It's still the worst night ever. And then he has an entire other movie set in this cabin where he just gets fucked up even more. He survived, guys. It's all good. He's safe. Nothing more to worry about. The franchise is over. Actually, the ending of this movie is one of my favorite things about it, where you think, oh, it's all good. He survived. Happy music. Love this. The evil coming towards him. It's it's not over, motherfucker. I love it when it's banging through all the doors. I love that. so that was Evil Dead 1981. Just pause my copy here. To change Freddy's backstory to only hinting at the kid touches stuff. Yeah, I think that was for the best, because it's hard to enjoy Freddy on screen if he's just a straight up pedo. Like, obviously he's a murderer and that's not good either, but it's all part of the horror movie thing, like enjoying the kills and stuff like that. And it's kind of hard to enjoy Freddy killing the kids that he molested. Like, that's too much. I don't really know what they were thinking there, to be honest. It almost would have been better if the kids had lied and he didn't do it, and he's just getting revenge on them. Like, I think that would have been a better way to go, but they did what they did, I guess. Absolutely, total mismatch casting. Kyle is good, but the script is so terrible, and you can hardly blame actors for lackluster performances. Keelan's good in a few movies, but definitely not a strong lead. No, he's just a good side hottie character. Like, he's just there to be a stud and, I guess, die in Nightmare on Elm Street, but he doesn't really have like leading man acting ability, which is fine. Not everyone needs to be the main character. And not talking about it outright. Yeah, I think like that was the best course of action for the original movie, was just to have him be like a child murderer and then not really talk about it that much, not really get into details. Because you don't need to elaborate on any of that. Like, we know he killed some kids, became Freddy, and the movies played out as they did. I think getting too much into specifically what he did takes away from being able to enjoy the character, I guess, which is what happens with Jackie's version of Freddy. He just ends up being a straight up pedo who's killing the kids that he molested. So it's like, okay, it's a little too much. Oh, we've got Robert Anthony in the chat. I can see you this time, Robert. You are not being blanked out. I can see your comments. I did forget that young Bruce Campbell was kind of cute. Yeah, in the first two movies, he's kind of cute. In Army of Darkness, he's not really, I guess. In the TV show, there are times where he looks kind of handsome, but for the most part, he's usually doing some weird shit. So they're being a little too silly. So it's kind of hard to really be that into it. Age was not kind to him. I mean, it wasn't that bad to him. I mean, sure, he's put on some weight and stuff, but I mean, he looks fine otherwise, I guess, for his age. He could definitely, like, I'm sure if he lost a bunch of weight and stuff, he would look closer to his younger self, but I don't have a big problem with it. Although in some of the shit that he does in the TV series, there's no way someone of his age and size could possibly do, but that's just part of the fun, I guess, of the silliness of the franchise. Let's see here. Now that we got Robert in the chat, is there anything you want to say about Scream 6 and 7 that you couldn't say last time, Robert? Bruce is the cutest in Evil Dead 2. Yeah, because he's already like dirty and bloodied up, and he's got his like shirt ripped open and stuff. And yeah, he definitely looks his best in Evil Dead 2. For most of Evil Dead 1, he just looks a little too boyish, I guess, and he has a weird haircut, but he looks much better in Evil Dead 2. In Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, he's kind of almost has like a mullet or something, doesn't he? His hair is like a bit longer. I'm not a big fan of him in Army of Darkness, but I guess I need to really watch it again. I know I just watched it recently, but I really need to watch it and pay attention to it to really decide how I feel about it. But I already know it's a little too silly for me. They needed to dial back the humor a little bit for me to really enjoy Army of Darkness. Let me see here. So what is everyone's ranking for the franchise, including the TV show? Robert, I was jamming out to the Buffy theme while driving home. Happy B-Day to the Queen, Sarah Michelle Gellar. Oh, definitely happy birthday to, like, I was gonna say like the best actor, but I mean, she's one of my favorite actors. Like anytime she's in something, I love it. She's currently in a show called Wolfpack, and I think she does a really great job in that. It's like so cool to see Sarah Michelle Gellar back in a Supernatural TV show, and especially as the episodes go on, she even gets kind of like a Buffy moment in the show where it's like clearly inspired by Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I was really happy when they did that. I'm excited for season 2. Season 1 was decent, and there's actually some good gore in that TV show, surprisingly. And the Buffy TV theme is like one of the best TV intros of all time. Like it's so well done. Like Angels is really good too, but Buffy's is just iconic. Like as soon as you hear that movie or hear that music, even if you don't watch Buffy, you probably know that that's the Buffy theme. It's so well done. Okay, Pumpkin King's ranking: original, the 2013 film, Ash vs. the Evil Dead, then Evil Dead 2, then Army of Darkness. Interesting. I suppose there's so much content in Ash vs. the Evil Dead, it's probably difficult to rank it for most people. I would probably do... Oh, it's hard. Evil Dead, the original Evil Dead and the 2013 Evil Dead are like pretty much tied for me. I think the more I watched the 2013 film, the more it might actually be at the top for me because it's just so well done. But I would say 1, and then the 2013 movie, then Evil Dead 2, then Army of Darkness, then Evil Dead 2, then Ash vs. the Evil Dead, then Army of Darkness. The Buffy theme slaps so hard we still feel it in 2023. It's still a great theme now. Like if they were to do a Buffy reboot or like a new show with like a new Slayer, they 100% should bring back the original in like that original song and reuse it for the new series. It would just be so epic to hear it all over again. Avery, Sarah should have had a role in Supernatural. They had several occurring characters who would have been benefited from casting someone like her instead of whomever they got. Yeah, it's kind of strange that Sarah Michelle Gellar was never in a single episode of Supernatural. Like maybe she just didn't want to be in it because it was a little too close to Buffy for her. She wasn't ready to do anything like that again, but they should have honestly just said fuck it and had Supernatural like set in the same world as Buffy and then had Buffy come in for like a crossover or something. I know they couldn't do that and that would have been a big ass, or even like have them go to a parallel like universe and have it be the Buffy world and have them meet Buffy. Like that'd be fucking awesome. Evil Dead 2 and 2013 are interchangeable, then the original, then Army of Darkness. Yeah, I think Army of Darkness is easily the worst one in the franchise, which is funny because when I was like, I want to say like 16, 17, I remember the people's favorites being either Evil Dead 2 or Army of Darkness. Like Evil Dead 1 was most people's least favorite film that I knew back then, and everyone fucking loved Army of Darkness. And now it's I feel like people are switching up on Army of Darkness and not really enjoying it so much. It's just too silly. If Sarah was in Supernatural, she could have had a sort of reunion with Felicia Day. Yeah, definitely. That would have been cool to see. Yeah, I think it was a missed opportunity not having Buffy or having Sarah in Supernatural. Also, I think it really sucks that I mean, I guess it led to Sam or Jared Padalecki being in the Friday the 13th reboot. But for those of you that don't know, Jason Voorhees was supposed to be on Supernatural, and they were like this close to filming an episode with Jason in it. But I think something happened like last minute, like they assumed they could use him or something, and they didn't get the rights to Jason or something like that. So they ended up not being able to do it like very close to last minute kind of thing. But I kind of wish they had him in there, or like they referenced Freddy Krueger a few times. It would have been amazing to have like Freddy Krueger show up on the show and shit like that. I mean, if they can cross over with Scooby-Doo, they can cross over with Jason and Freddy. Is it her new show? It's a spin-off of Teen Wolf. So that's what I thought originally too, that Wolfpack was a spin-off of Teen Wolf, but it's not. It has nothing to do with Teen Wolf. Some of the vibes are kind of similar to Teen Wolf in a way, but it's a completely different show. Much gorier. I would say probably a little bit better written. And they can like swear and say like fuck and stuff on the TV show, and I think there might even be a little bit of nudity in the TV show if I remember correctly. It's not bad. I would check it out. The first episode has like some crazy gore within the first like 10 minutes, so it's worth checking out. How pissed are you about I Still Know being potentially ignored for the requel? It's such a dumb movie to ignore the second film. That's literally what I said earlier, Robert. I'm so fucking sick of writers being lazy and just ignoring films from a franchise instead of trying to write around them. Like, that's what I liked about the franchises back in the day. Like, Halloween, up until obviously H2O, didn't ignore films. They wrote around the endings and tried to include everything in the continuity. And Friday the 13th, like, included all their movies in the continuity. I just think it's lazy to be like, okay, we're going to ignore this film and just make this a direct sequel. And the fact that they might call it I Know What You Did Last Summer 2 is fucking lazy. Like, so lazy. Like, every little bit of piece of news I hear coming out about this movie, I like it a little bit less and a little bit less and a little bit less. Like, it's a crime against, like I Still Know What You Did Last Summer is a fun movie. It's a good sequel. Brandy, even though we don't have Helen, Sarah Michelle Gellar in the second movie, Brandy, the friend character, is actually really great. I like her a lot. And it's a shame that she's just going to be wiped from continuity because they're too lazy to write around the ending of I Still Know. Like, I find it much better when characters have gone through all of the events of their franchise when having a sequel. That was one of the biggest things about Halloween 2018 and Kills, and I guess Ends, is Laurie acts like Laurie and the town act like the sequels have happened. That's like the town and Laurie are so traumatized, and they talk about Michael like he's this fucking legend when all he did was kill a few people in 1978. He didn't even kill the people in the hospital from Halloween 2. Like, Halloween 2 should not have been ignored from the timeline. It should not have been ignored. If they wanted to switch things up and have Michael not be her sister, they could have just wrote in the movie, oh, those files were incorrect. She's not actually his sister, blah, blah, blah. Done. Like, you didn't have to ignore Halloween 2 because Halloween 2 is so much of the trauma that Laurie experienced, and her being the way she is would make sense if Halloween 2 was in the timeline. But then Halloween Kills, the way everyone talks and acts about Michael, they act like Halloween 1 through 6 and has happened. Like, it's ridiculous. Having Michael only kill like 3 or 4 people in 1978, everyone's way overreacting to that. Like, it's just doesn't work. Like, stop ignoring sequels. Yeah, SMG was badass in Wolfpack, and yet Sarah says she's too old to play Buffy again. Yeah, they literally give her a Buffy fight scene in Wolfpack. There's no reason she can't return as Buffy in a Buffy TV series. Like, none. Like, I understand with all the controversy with Joss Whedon and stuff, and the stuff obviously that happened while they were filming the original TV show, but he's not involved anymore. Like, girl, come back, reclaim the best role of all time, and kick some ass. See, what they needed to do to fix the new Halloween movie is make a musical Halloween once more with feeling. Maybe they could have done something like that. I wouldn't put it past it happening in Halloween Ends, honestly, but Robert knows how I feel about Halloween Ends. Funny thing is, I don't even hate Halloween Ends. I just hate that if it had been the movie after the trilogy, I would have been fine with it. The fact that they fucked up the trilogy by making Halloween Ends the ending is my problem. it was not what the end of the trilogy needed. Like my friend Shane, he used to watch the Halloween movies like at least like once a month or something like that. And after Halloween ends, he doesn't even watch them anymore. Like it ruined his experience completely, and I honestly don't blame him for that. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap this up here in about, what time is it? 9:39. We'll say go for another 5-10 minutes, and we'll wrap it up. Don't want to take away from Brett's live stream. He's doing Friday the 13th Part 3 3D right now. I really appreciate all you guys coming to join in. I know I kind of made the stream last minute. I'm going to be trying to do these streams once a week now, though, just to keep things going. I'm not sure what I'm going to be streaming next week. Like, I'll be on Brett's channel tomorrow, Good Real Hunting, for his birthday stream. So make sure to come join us for that. Next week, though, there's a stream coming for Evil Dead Rise with Brett from Good Real Hunting, and Destiny is going to be joining us as well. Whenever, like probably a few days or that week following Evil Dead Rise. But I'm not sure what I'm going to do next week. And maybe I'll just do like kind of like this, where I talk horror movies, but I'll also give like my reaction and thoughts to Evil Dead Rise, because I'm going to see Evil Dead Rise Thursday or Friday. So I'll probably come in and give like maybe like my non-spoiler review or reaction kind of to the movie. And then we'll get into spoilers or something for the people that have seen it. Something like that, maybe. And just talk general horror and stuff. Actually, I would love to also talk about I'm listening to the audiobooks for the Jason X sequel books right now. There's 4 sequel books to Jason X, if you didn't know. I finished the first one, and I'm like 90% done the second one. And they're actually pretty fun. I think they're a good continuation, and they're technically canon because there's no reason for them not to be, which is kind of cool. It's cool seeing more Jason X content. Allison became so unintelligent, even at the end with seeing Corey near Michael's mask. Allison was totally fumbled in Halloween Ends. Like they were setting her up in Halloween 2018 to be this really great final girl. Then in Kills, she was just an unhinged kind of dumbass who didn't listen to anything anyone said and like ran into danger. And then in Ends, she's just like this dumb girl who falls in love with a serial killer and is a complete bitch to Laurie. And she doesn't do anything in the movie except for be a love interest. And then the final 5 minutes of the movie, she shows up after Michael's already beaten. Like it's such a disappointing role for Allison in Ends. Yeah, he was not what they set up in 2018. No, like some people can fool themselves into thinking that like, oh, they planned Corey from the start. No, they didn't. They did not. If they planned Corey from the start, there would have been better set up for the Corey character. They didn't. I don't know. I don't know if they just didn't have an idea for the third movie. I kind of wish the third movie just took place immediately after Kills and they were all on the same night, or even like the first 10 minutes of Ends was still the same night as Kills, and then the next Halloween was like they picked up with the next Halloween. But I don't know. Are they written by the same guy who did the Jason X screenplay? I don't know if he's involved in them or not. I know the first, like the second and third, because there's the first book, which is just the Jason X movie, and then the next 4 books after that are sequels. The second book and the third book are written by different people, I believe, and the fourth and fifth book might be written by the person from the third book, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if any of the returning writers come from it, but it feels like the first sequel is kind of like feels like it's trying to find its footing, but the second sequel, it feels like a direct sequel to Jason X that could have been a movie. Like I haven't finished it yet, but it easily feels like it could have been a movie. It's actually pretty decent. If you like Jason X, you'll like them. And they're all on YouTube, actually, the audiobooks for the Jason X sequel books. It's called like Jason X The Experiment, Jason X Planet of the Beast, Jason X Death Moon, and then Jason X to the Third Power, I think they're called, and all the audiobooks are on YouTube, so you can listen to them if you want. Blaming Lori for what happened is stupid. I think Lori should have said, "If you stayed your ass in the hospital, your mother would still be alive, you little bitch." That might be a little too much to say to her, but it's kind of true. If Allison had never left the hospital, Karen would still be alive. So I don't think Todd Farmer had anything to do with the books. Yeah, I don't know that anyone involved with Jason X had anything to do with the books, but they're still fun. The first one has to do with them like trying to use Jason's DNA to create like super soldiers. And then the second book has kind of a little bit to do with that, but it's like him being on like a, I guess I don't want to spoil it, but the second book is kind of where it really starts getting better. The first sequel book, it starts off really good, and the middle is a little slow, and then the end is good. Whereas the second sequel, it's been pretty much good the whole time. It's not really had any slow bits. Bummer. He was the same guy who did My Bloody Valentine, wasn't he? I'm not sure. Do you mean the 2013 My Bloody Valentine? Fun fact, the original My Bloody Valentine was filmed like an hour or two away from me here in Nova Scotia. Kind of fun. I love that Black Christmas and My Bloody Valentine are both from Canada, which, if you didn't know, that's where I'm from. Yeah, I'm gonna. Oh. Do you know what's the story for the Crystal Lake series? I saw that Adrienne King is coming back. How will that work? I think Adrienne King is just like part of the writer's room kind of thing. Like she's helping with the TV show, but I don't think she's actually going to be in it. And if she is in it, it's probably just going to be as like a cameo character or something like that. There's no way she's coming back as Alice. Unless they pull like a Kirby and they're like, "Oh, Alice is alive." But I don't think they're going to do that. It's hard to say what they're going to do. I know somebody earlier said that they were going to focus on like town politics, and I think I read somewhere else it was going to be like Mrs. Voorhees raising Jason with his like disability and stuff like that. But like it needs to be more than that. Like the show needs to have a better reason for existence. There needs to be something supernatural going on, or like I don't know. Even if the show has like Mrs. Voorhees killing people leading up to like the original Friday movie or something like that, I don't know. And like I said, if the show is set in its own continuity and actually has nothing to do with the continuity of the movies, I'm going to be very disappointed and less interested in it. But we also have a Friday the 13th movie coming, so maybe that will have more to do with the movies of the 2009 movie, which I hope so. I'm done with reboots. I don't want any more straight up reboots. Yes, he is. He also got a cameo in both. He was the ball gamer in Jason X and the trucker in My Bloody Valentine 3D. Oh, that's kind of cool. Warwin, so back. Oh, no politics in F-13. I think it's going to be more so like town politics, not like real world politics. But yeah, I'd rather not see anything like that. Friday the 13th does not need that at all. I don't know. It's hard to say what they're going to do. It could be really good, or they could fumble it, and it could only last like a season. Like I was saying earlier, I don't want everything to become a TV show. And like, it's so much easier and more fun to go back and rewatch movies than it is to sit through an entire TV show. Like, I would rather be getting Friday the 13th movies than a TV show. I know we're getting both, so it's fine, but I don't want to watch a TV show as much as I want to watch a new movie in theaters. Oh yeah, he was the dude banging the hooker. That's right. All Friday needs is a hockey mask and a machete in the bodies. Yeah, I know things are still kind of weird with the rights, but they say that adult Jason is going to be in the TV series, so I don't know if it'll be like flashing forward to maybe redone events from the movies, or I don't know what they're going to do, but there definitely needs to be something more going on than just like Mrs. Voorhees raising her son in a town with weird politics. Like it needs to be more than that. But yeah, I'm gonna do another stream, probably Friday or Saturday next week. I'm not sure 100% what it'll be on, but maybe on Evil Dead Rise, depending on if I've seen that or not. I would like to do a stream just talking about the Friday the 13th TV show and talking about the movies and getting into all the movies, because if you don't know, Friday the 13th is probably my favorite of the horror franchises. I just love how consistent it is. And I love that all of the movies, except for the reboot, are in one timeline. Like, I love that so much. I just have a lot of fun with Friday the 13th. I love Jason. Will it be like in between films? Maybe. Well, the majority of the TV series is going to be set before the first film, but the flash forwards, it's hard to say what they're going to do with the flash forwards with adult Jason. They could show what's going on between movies, or even jump all the way forward to present day and set it after like Freddy versus Jason and just have it be going from there, and maybe ignore. Actually, you could set the scenes between Freddy versus Jason and Jason X, because there's 7 years between the events of Freddy versus Jason and Jason X. So that's a lot to cover, really. But it's hard to say what they're going to do. I think it'd be really cool showing adult Jason with the mask with Freddy's scratches on it, but not referencing Freddy versus Jason otherwise, just having the mask with the scratches. Like, that'd be really cool. All right, guys. Well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you all for joining me tonight. It was really good watching Evil Dead and talking Evil Dead and talking horror and Buffy and all that kind of stuff with you guys. I always enjoy having a good horror chat. I don't get to have them very often, because basically no one that lives where I live really likes horror movies that much, or at least not enough to have a full-on horror conversation. So thank you guys so much for being here to chat with me. Like, it really means a lot that you take your time to come chat with me in the comments like this. Yeah, honestly, I always get nervous before I do a stream, but it always ends up being so much fun because you guys make it fun, and I really appreciate you guys joining me for all of these. I might do Evil Dead 2 Army of Darkness and the 2013 film on the channel. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm going to start trying to give more notice for the streams, just so people can know that they're happening and like make time for it and stuff like that. But I really appreciate you guys even making the time for it on such short notice. It's really great of you guys. Nobody around here likes it either. Yeah, just a lot of my friends will watch horror movies, I guess, but most of them, like, I can't have a conversation like, oh, this character from this film and this plot line. Like, a lot of them don't really pay that much attention to. Like, I couldn't talk about, like, if I was to go to one of my friends and be like, oh yeah, the Jarvis trilogy and Friday the 13th, they would have no idea what I'm talking about, like, at all. And that's like quite a big thing of Friday the 13th. It's not even that deep, but a lot of people that I know just they're not like horror fans like us, like me and you guys are. Like, they don't know franchises that well. So, and I'm a big franchise guy, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Chucky, Scream, Final Destination, Saw. Like, I love all of the major horror franchises, and I rewatch them so often that they're always like fresh in my head. So I love being able to talk about them with you guys, with people who actually like know and love these movies. Thank you. You have a good weekend too, Pumpkin King. Don't forget, guys, I'm going to be over on Good Real Hunting tomorrow night, 8 p.m. 8 p.m. EST. So come join us for some fun and some chat over there, because Good Real Hunting is always a good time. And I'm also going to be on their channel, I think the first week of May. They're going to be doing Friday the 13th, Part 6, Jason Lives watch party, and they wanted me to come on for that, because if you guys didn't know, Jason Lives is my favorite Friday the 13th movie. So they wanted to have me on for that one, and I'm very excited to be on for that one, because I'll watch Jason Lives anytime. I love it so much. It's probably It's probably my favorite horror movie, but if not, it's like easily like top 5. Like it's right there. Hey, Robert, yeah, for sure. That'd be really fun. We could watch all the Scream movies together. That's Warren's favorite Friday the 13th movie, too. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you all hopefully tomorrow with Good Will Hunting. And if not, I'll see you next weekend.